Hello, Bronco fans and football fans alike. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown. This is Friday, June the 4th, 2021. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Let's get right into this very newsworthy sports topics. I have some Aaron Rodgers conversation, of course. I have Patrick Surtan, Burkhead, Al Michaels, and then we have some controversial NFL. I say controversial because it has been for such a long time. But the NFL, I've got some news on NFL, Patrick Peterson, and of course the Colorado Avalanche. So let's get right into it. Let's start out with the NFL because I think this is very significant. The NFL agrees to halt race norming. Now, in case you don't know what race norming is, it's when an issue, let's say from an injured NFL player, gets a concussion or he has that head injury that causes him to not think squarely or think correctly, and they retire and they file for compensation from the NFL. Well, in the past, the NFL has paid more money and processed the requests for white injured players faster than non-white injured players. Now, under the new policy, every player and every case will be dealt with in the same manner regarding what race the person is. Well, that's the way it should be. I mean, if a person's injured, a person's injured. And it doesn't matter whether you're white, you're black, you're Indian, you're Hispanic. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're Australian. It doesn't matter what you are, because an injury is an injury. An injury doesn't grade on race. Injury happens to everybody. And so I think it's only appropriate that the NFL take these matters seriously and take them into consideration. So that's a great thing that the NFL is doing, is they're getting away and halting the race norming. So that's great news. Let's go to Patrick Peterson. Now, Patrick Peterson has spent his last 10 years in the NFL as an Arizona Cardinal. Now, he joins the Minnesota Vikings as a free agent after 10 years, as I mentioned, from the Cardinals. Now, Peterson said, and I quote, "I've been there in Arizona for 10 years, and it was almost like I was tolerated there. Unlike being in Minnesota, I'm appreciated in Minnesota. I feel motivated now. There's a chip on my shoulder, and I mean business," end quote. Wow, Patrick Peterson really, he feels at home in Minnesota. Now, I think we've all had jobs where, after a while, a person feels comfortable. The management or the system or whatever decides to, whether it's any fault of their own, they just get comfortable as well. And what they end up doing is they end up taking a person for granted. Now, I think that's the same thing that's happening to Patrick Peterson here. Now, being on the Minnesota Vikings, it's fresh, it's new to him, it's new to the Vikings, and I think that there's a definite sense of motivation. Why wouldn't you be motivated? I sure would. Going to a new job or a new city or whatever, I'd be extremely motivated because it's new energy. So congratulations to Patrick Peterson. I wish him well in Minnesota. He's played phenomenally in the 10 years in Arizona, and I just think he needs a second start, a fresh start. Put it that way, a fresh start. So that's good news for the Minnesota Vikings as well as Patrick Peterson. Now let's move on to Aaron Rodgers. Now, according to The Athletic, which is a news information in Green Bay. So according to The Athletic, Packer GM Gutekunst continues to say he will not trade Rodgers. However, the Packers would free up significant cap space by trading Rodgers since the June 1st new agreement has come to fruition. Now, by holding on to Rodgers, they're still going to have to pay him. He's under contract. I don't know if he still gets paid if he holds out. I don't know. Obviously, there could be fines involved with him holding out. I'm not sure. But if their salary cap right now is a $38 million hit. If they trade him, that salary cap hit drops to 21. That's a $17 million cap savings. So why not trade him? I'll tell you why they don't trade him. Because Gutekunst and Rodgers are in a deadlock. They're in a, I'm going to call your bluff, you're going to call my bluff. Well, neither guy is going to win in this situation in regards to 2021 if Rodgers doesn't play. Rodgers will lose out on some money, perhaps, unless it's guaranteed. And obviously the Packers will lose out. So the smart thing to do would be to trade Rodgers. But then you have to let your ego go aside. You have to let your pride take a back seat. Now, when you're a GM of a club or an organization or whatever, a CEO of a business, the thing that gets involved as far as not doing the right and smart thing is pride and ego and control. And I'm going to do it my way, and that's the way it's going to be. Well, sometimes you just got to, cut your losses. And if Rodgers doesn't want to play for the Packers, in my opinion, are not doing the smart thing. Now, of course, I want Rodgers to go to the Broncos, but it doesn't matter whether he would go to the Broncos or he'd go to any other 30 teams out there. That doesn't matter. What matters is Rodgers doesn't want to play because he feels disrespected and he doesn't like the way the organization and the management is headed. Okay, that's his preference. That's his choice. And just like if I don't like how management and organizations being run where I work, I cannot show up. I can hold out. My situation obviously is different than Rodgers, but it's the same principle. So Rodgers has a point. Now, the Packers have a point on their side because they have Rodgers under contract, and they feel that Rodgers needs to honor that contract. So right now it's a stalemate. But the latest news is that Rodgers doesn't want to report. It's mandatory that he show up when they have training and all that. So I don't know how that's going to work on his end. But right now it's a stalemate, and nobody is winning at this juncture of the game. Okay, now let's move on to Patrick Surtan II. Now, Surtan is impressing the Broncos coaching staff as well as teammates by how quickly he's picking up the defensive playbook. Now, Bryce Callahan said of Surtan, and I quote, "Oh man, he is a baller. He's learning the defense really fast, which is rare for a rookie," end quote. Now that speaks volumes, and it should speak volumes because the Broncos passed on a quarterback in Justin Fields to take Patrick Surtan II. So yeah, Patrick Surtan had better own up to being chosen as the number one draft pick at number 9 for the Denver Broncos. Now, I sure hope, obviously, that all of this pans out, and I'm sure it will. Patrick Surtan, by impressing the coaching staff and his teammates during all these OTAs and workouts, that's only beneficial, obviously, for him, for his teammates. It's encouraging to the organization, and it's certainly encouraging to the fans as we get to see him in preseason, and then we get to see him in the regular season. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to see what Patrick Surtan can do on the defensive side of the ball. Opposite of Justin Simmons, oh man, that's a 1-2 punch right there. So could we be talking about the no-fly zone version 2? Yeah, I think we can, guys. I really, really think we can. So I'm looking forward to it. So I'm glad that Patrick Surtan is opening eyes, turning heads, and going out there, and like Bryce Callahan said, he's a baller. And I'm glad to see that. All right, how about Rex Burkhead? Now, I don't know if anybody out there remembers Rex Burkhead. I sure do. He played for the New England Patriots. Not anymore. The Texans have signed former Patriots running back Rex Burkhead to a 1-year contract. Now, Burkhead joins the Texans' crowded backfield with the likes of David Johnson, Mark Ingram, and Philip Lindsay. Now, Philip Lindsay's on a 1-year contract as well as Burkhead. So they're really going to have to go out there and prove their worth, because Johnson and Ingram are signed for 2 or 3 year contracts. So it's going to be imperative for either Lindsay or Burkhead to crack that backfield room and make the starting roster come opening day of the season. So I wish Lindsay more success than Burkhead, because Lindsay's a former Denver Bronco. But by the same token, it's going to be a dogfight if the Texans decide to keep 3 running backs. Most teams do. And then I guess the 4th one would go on their practice squad. I'd really like to see Lindsay make the team, just because I really do like Philip Lindsay and wish him all the best. All right, let's go to Al Michaels. Now, as you all know, Al Michaels is the announcer for Sunday Night Football each and every week. Well, his contract is up at the end of the 2021 season. So Amazon is trying to lure Al Michaels to join the Thursday night team beginning in 2022. Now, Michaels' contract, like I said, expires at the end of 2021 season. Reportedly, Michaels would receive equal to, if not more, than $1 million per game. But no word whether or not he'll accept that offer. Now, should he go to Amazon, and Amazon, as you know, has the broadcast for Thursday Night Football. So should he go to Amazon, that would propel Amazon into the Big Four. And what I mean by the Big Four is ABC, NBC, CBS, well, actually the Big Five, ESPN, and then Amazon. So you got Sunday games, you got Sunday night games, you have Monday night, and you have Thursday night. So if Al Michaels joins Amazon, that would propel Amazon into the upper echelon. And of course, that's what they want. They want notoriety and they want viewership. And that's what they're after. And if they can land Al Michaels, that would be huge, because Al Michaels is the face of football when it comes to Sunday night. It's reported that Mike Tirico is in line to take over for Al Michaels on Sunday night once Michaels' contract is up. Now, if Michael decides to walk away and not do the Thursday night with Amazon, well, that's his choice. But either way, his contract's up in 2021, and it looks like Mike Tirico is going to step right in and be the announcer on Sunday Night Football. So that's the news on Al Michaels. And I find that kind of interesting, because Al Michaels has been with Sunday Night Football, it seems like forever. And his voice obviously is super recognizable. And no matter where he goes or what he does, he's definitely going to succeed whatever he does. All right, now let's wrap this thing up with the Colorado Avalanche. Again, I have the Avalanche hat on. I got the jersey. And the Avalanche have won 6 straight playoff games. They swept the St. Louis Blues 4 straight, and they've taken the first 2 against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And the scores that they've won by was 7-1 in Game 1 and 3-2 in overtime. Now, in Game 1, the 7-1 score really isn't indicative of the Knights and how they play. They had their backup goalie in there because they were given Fleury an extra day's rest. Well, that backfired on the Knights because they got blown out 7-1. And then in Game 2, the Avalanche had to go to overtime, and they won that game 3-2. And that was an amazing a win for them. It was Mikko Rantanen taking a pass from Nathan McKinnon across the ice, and then shot it right over Fleury's left shoulder and into the back of the net for the win. It was awesome. It was great. But that's only 2 wins. You have to win 4 to move on. Tonight is Game 3. 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time in Vegas. Game 3. Colorado Avalanche trying to go up 3-0 on hostile ice in Vegas. Watch it, guys. It's going to be exciting. That's it. That's all I have for this version of Broncos Breakdown. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Have a wonderful, wonderful game tonight and a great weekend. And we'll talk to you next Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.